Well, hello again. I'm back, and I thought I would go ahead and do the alignment on this before I put it back together. Before I go ahead and do that, while I've had the vacuum tube voltmeter has been warming up. Well, they say to warm it up for 2 hours, but it's been on for about an hour, and the radio's been on for quite a while. I don't know. I think it's you're supposed to leave it on for like 20 minutes. It's been on for a little more than 20 minutes, but now that I got the case back together, I just wanted to show you. I mentioned something in my comments about a couple of things that showed up while I was soaking the Plascon in the bleach water. Originally, when I did this case, I had sprayed it with Clorox cleanup. Well, actually, I used the Walmart brand, but what had happened was it did bleach out the it did take the nicotine that was stuck in here out, but it had streaked down the sides and left stripes, so that was why I had to end up soaking the sides and everything to get the rest of it off. But what had happened, and I don't know if it was impurities or whatnot, and I don't even know if you can see it, but suddenly this little dark spot showed up while it was soaking, and I could not for the life of me get that to come out. Not sure what it is. Obviously it's an impurity of some kind, or I mean, it wasn't there before. And I also have 2 more spots up here, which I don't know if you can see. They're really minor. It's not that huge of a deal, and there's nothing really I can do about it anyway. So as you can see, I got the grill cloth back in and the dial plastic, and they're held in by these I don't know what you call these clips, but they slide onto these little plastic poles. And lo and behold, of course, you know, they always have to make one mistake. I broke one off down here. It's fine. I'll do. So it doesn't clip in down here, and you can't really. Well, yeah, I guess you can tell from the front. Maybe I will glue it in. I wasn't sure which glue I should kind of use, because, you know, Philco just slathered glue all over the inside on the backs of here and just stuck the whole thing up. So I didn't want to be the guy that gets crazy with the glue gun, but I may. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. I haven't, you know, I still have time, obviously. I haven't put the chassis in there. But anyway, I just wanted to show you those little gray spots because I had mentioned them. So what I've done here is, this has been warming up, like I said, but I'm going to turn it off for a second. So according to the alignment instructions, they want you to, well, use Philco equipment, but I have the signal generator set to, if you can see that. I have the signals generator set to 470. I did run it through, of course I'm real good at misplacing stuff, but I did run it through the counter to verify that it was at 470. I do actually have a cable that goes in between, you know, I have that splitter in there. But of course that's that's what I couldn't find tonight. So Joe had asked me to do a demonstration. The only problem I have with this VC3165 is, well, you can't really see the numbers. The green is not real great when it comes to light. So there, you can see it just fine now. But with the light on, I mean, even I have trouble seeing it. All I see is, it looks like same thing you see here. It looks like every single digit's lit up. So, just to let you know, it does run at 470 here. As you can see, I'm using my solid state signal generator, RF generator. Alright, so oh, it's not. It's likes this to be on high. Alright, so you can see I have the resolution set at, I don't know, about a second. And it's 469, 178, so, or 978. So I'm going to go ahead and play, it's like cracking a safe to get this thing perfect. According to Victor, this counter is more accurate at slower sampling rates. So this is the highest it goes, and I think it's 10 times a second or something. But anyway, so there you go. It's at 470, and I'm going to go ahead and turn these lights back on, and you can barely see the 470 there. All right, so let's this all disconnected here. Make sure I get the right ones. Oh, all right. So I have a 0.1 microfarad capacitor here, because that's what you're supposed to run it through. My assumption is that this is supposed to prevent DC current from going back in and overloading your signal generator. And that's what it calls for in Philco schematics here. And this particular radio, the last couple of older sets I've done had me disconnect the grid cap. This one does not instruct me to, and I tried to do it, and it didn't work, so I guess obviously that I hooked it back up, and it does work. So what the instructions say is to connect the vacuum tube voltmeter to the plate and cathode, which I have done, of the output tube, the 41. So let's see if we can get in there. Eek. Okay. So you know, counting from the bottom, there's the two big ones: the pin 1, pin 2, or pin 8, 1. The pin 2 is the plate, and pin 7 is the cathode. So there we are. Hopefully this hasn't been off long enough. This really wasn't off that much to begin. At least the oscillator wasn't. So, and as a complaint about companies, Philco here says to, let's see, what does it say? It says, the output meter is connected to the plate and cathode terminals of the 41 tube. Adjust the meter to use the 0 to 30 volt scale and advance the attenuator control of the generator until a readable indication is noted on the output meter after the signal is applied. So they actually want you to turn the volume on this thing way up, and I'm actually not going to do that because it drives me nuts. So the other thing that they want you to do now to do this is to do the intermediate frequency, set the generator at 470 kilocycles, turn the multiplier control to 1000. Anyway, I've got it on low. Turn the receiver dial to 580. Here's the fun part. There's no 580 on this dial. And likewise for the upper end, it says turned it to 1500. Well, you know, there's no 1500. So this is kind of my best guesstimate as being, I don't know, about 580, give or take. Obviously, we're so precise back then. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm going to connect this to ground. And the, well, you can already hear it. I guess it would help if I actually connected it to ground. So what we're going to be adjusting here is we're going to be adjusting, alright, so we're going to be adjusting the 12A, 8B, and then 8A. in that order, and we're going to go around and around. 12A, of course, is on the back, on the bottom. I'm going to use my adjustment thingy here. And 8B is here on the top, and let's see if I can turn this without burning myself or shocking myself. Alright. See, make sure everybody can see. Of course, this is right in the way. Let's see. Suppose I could just put it up down here. Alright, that'll work. I hope. Alright, so let's keep our eye on the meter here. I'm going to go ahead and turn the volume up. Where's the volume? Now, they want it at the 30 and they want the volume up really high. So what I'm going to do is not turn the volume up that high. I think it should work out okay. So I'm going to have to apologize for that noise. It drives me nuts, but... Alright, so let's go ahead and adjust this for the high side. Up, 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 down, down, down. Now, at my club, they said that when you're doing this, to adjust it, when you're adjusting it and you hit the peak and go back down, you want to hit the peak going up, not turning it so it would go down, if that makes sense. I don't know why. So, this thing doesn't want to turn. Alright. So, so we're peaking there. Alright, so we're going to hit 12B. You can hear it getting louder. Driving me nuts. Now, here's a good argument for using a fiber. This has got just a small piece of metal in it. And as you can see, when I touch it, it actually makes a difference in the scale. So you got to kind of back off a little bit. I do need to get myself a... Oh, look, I'm right in the way. I do need to get myself... Let's see here. And that bulb is now in the way. Well, this was really staged, wasn't it? Alright, so... Good idea to get a fiber screwdriver. Now 12A. Wow, that was off quite a bit. Alright, back to 12A. I said 12A over there too, but I meant 8A. And I think that one's done. Then 8B. Ooh, that got touchy. I don't think that one wants to turn anymore. Alright, and then back to 12A. Sorry, 8B. 8A. They said this wasn't really off that much anyway. And you know what? This got a pocket. Well, it slides down here. Let me slide that off. It's got a pocket clip on it, and it keeps slipping. Well, I think that's done. So I'm going to call that done for now. And now we're going to go ahead and do the high end. So let me go ahead and reconfigure this. I will be right back. Alright, well, they want me to have this to do the radio frequency circuit. I need to set the RF generator to 1500. And so that's going to require me to switch up to the next band and go down to 1500. Yeah, well, what do you know? I'm at 1511. Alright, so let's crack the safe here. I'm gonna go ahead and I hate to be anal about this, but I'm going to be anal about this for some reason. I always do that. I'll sit here for 10 minutes trying to get that stupid thing to be, you know, like 00000. But now I'm on camera, so I don't want to bore you. Alright, so now I got to dial the tuner, which is still on, to 1500, which is kind of a good luck. And there must be around 1500. I want to say, well, I guess that's about 1500. It's really not off. Well, that's 1510. That's what my broadcaster's at. So I'm going to assume that this is actually pretty much right on, but now I'm supposed to adjust 3A and 3B, which are on top of the tuning condenser. And I got station bleeding through here, so. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and adjust that for, oh, I guess it would help if I plugged it in. So I'm supposed to connect the, positive lead. This would help if I disconnected it from here. Alright, I'm going to connect the... They said to connect to the antenna, the white antenna wire, which just faded to yellow, but and through a 100 microfarad or picofarad condenser here. I gotta get me one of them cables that's got these built in. Alright. And the negative is around here somewhere. Where's the other end of the negative? Oh, there it is. Alright. So, there we go. And here we are at, like I said, about 1500. So again, the noise is going to be annoying. I did take the bulb out this time at least. Huh. Oh, I'm supposed to adjust 3B first. God, I hope you guys can hear me. Oh, that's sensitive. Hmm. Gee, maybe I should just leave that alone. You know what? I'm going to call this done because it really wasn't off that much. But you did see when I started adjusting the screw that it was changing the radio frequency. So, well, there you go. And I'm sure you've seen this mentioned 100 times before. Unless somebody's been in here before screwing around with this stuff, a lot of times this stuff is not off, really. Honestly, the only reason why the oscillator was off even as much as it was is because, I guess just to show you guys the meter deflecting, I actually moved the screws a little bit because it was pretty much right about on. I thought it was off when I first was tuning on this thing, but like I said, you know, you get 1/4 of an inch on this thing between 1400 and 1700, and you know that's not a lot. That's 200 kilocycles in a 1/4 of an inch. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and put this radio back together, even though this has become a kind of a long video, and I don't like long videos, but I'm going to go ahead and put the radio together, and then we'll wrap it up, and we're done. And then I get to decide which one I'm going to do next. So I'll be right back. Alright, and I'm back, and after I got the whole thing together, I realized that I was not looking at the needle dead on when I had tuned the radio frequency to what I thought was 1500. So I ended up being off by 30 kilohertz, so I had to go pull it back out, look at it dead on, put it at what I thought 1500 should be, and then tweak with it a little bit. Didn't take very long, but anyway. And also I'd like to point out that someone needs to give me the lecture about keeping track of your parts, because I went into the box that I was keeping the parts in and I could not for the life of me find the screws that hold the chassis into the cabinet. So that being said, I was able to use some 6x32 screws, and I had to put nuts on the bottom of them because they would slip through the holes. Fortunately, I can order some screws that'll fit in there. I just don't know what I did with that little envelope. I keep everything in these little envelopes like this, sealed up, and I don't know where it went. So anyway, someone can give me the lecture about keeping track of parts. Anyhow, so I thought I'd go ahead and play the radio. Tonight I have it, my broadcaster over there is tuned to, oh, what's it called? Shoot. Well, it's a big band station from Bel Air, Texas, here in Texas. So I'm going to go ahead and flip these lights off and turn it on, and I'm going to call this done, except for the screws I have to order. So here we go. One of the things I was going to actually mention, I'll just turn the volume down on this. there was a black sticker in the front of inside here that came off, of course, when I soaked it, and I may actually. It was like they stuck a sticker on there, and then they put the paint over the sticker. And the sticker, of course, came off. It was coming off over the years anyway, so I may do that. They probably did it to avoid this dot here. Apparently, Philco did not want the cabinet to glow on this thing. I'm gonna turn off a couple more lights here so you can see the dial, mostly. And I'm going to go ahead and turn up the volume here. And thanks for sticking with me with this restoration. And again, I may pull the 624 out. I do need to work on it at some point, but I'll decide by tomorrow. So apparently I'm not tuned in. There we go. I don't like that selection, actually. Once I got it back in the cabinet, I realized that it does sound... it sounds a little bit better when it's inside the cabinet, but I'll just shut up now and see you guys later.